Okay, this is 3922 8th Street in East Moline. This house is located in a neighborhood just north of the main thoroughfare which connects East Moline and Moline, called Avenue of the Cities. And just looking around the neighborhood itself, obviously a very quiet neighborhood. A lot of the houses built in a similar style to the one that we'll be looking at today. Lawns look well manicured. And now we will come back to our house here. Having a chance to get up and look at the shingles, they look to be in pretty good shape. No curling or buckling in between, or at least not much. But then, looking towards the siding on the house, this is aluminum siding, and there are numerous spots where there are dents or where it has begun to sort of get a little wavy and separate away from the house. But we'll see that here, especially as we move towards the backyard. And especially here along this side, you can see here we have some damage from maybe someone who's mowing a lawn, and a long history of scratches, especially along this bottom layer. But overall, the siding itself is generally very pitted and marked. But we will now move over into the backyard. All around this property, on both sides, we have some chain link fence, and that continues over here from the side and into the backyard. And just looking around to neighbors in the back, there's a little bit of a culvert down in this area, and then over here we have a church. Coming over now to the north side of the house, we have our garage. This is a 2-car garage. And take a look inside. So in this garage, the concrete pad is intact. There are no signs of cracking or splitting or heaving. There's our power garage door openers. And then looking up towards the ceiling, we can see that there is a little bit of sheetrocking that has started to come loose in some spots, and in some cases fall down altogether, causing a lot of the insulation to then fall down. And it looks like over on this area we have a lot of signs of some rodents, or a little mouse nest, excuse me, that was probably located up in there. And then, just again, looking over towards the chain link fence that exists on the far side of the property. But we will now go into the back door. And this door leads immediately either downstairs into the basement or off into the kitchen area. But for now, we will go ahead and go downstairs. So down here in the basement, the pad here, if I can get a light, there we go. We have our the floor of the basement itself looks to be in pretty good shape. There is some linoleum tiling that has started to sort of come up out of place, as we can see over in this area. But the walls of the basement or the foundation are definitely in much worse shape. Looking over to this wall, we can see that we have several metal beams here that have been bolted down into the floor and then up into the floorboards for that first floor. And these are to prevent this wall from buckling out any further than it already has. And unfortunately, you can't really see it just because it is so dark down in here. But especially looking over here, that bulge is pretty significant. And in some cases, it is certainly pushing right up against these metal beams that they've put in place. So in this corner in general is where we have the majority of the problems with the buckling, and as a result there are several cracks that also exist in between these cinder blocks and the foundation. There is then some more bulging that's sort of happening over here on this side of the wall, associated with this crack right along here. Although it is not as significant and a little harder to be able to tell. But looking around at what we have here in the basement, we have a little room here that opens up into a bathroom. We have our toilet and sink and actually a shower as well, so you can see there. And then here in the middle we have our utilities with our hot water heater. This hot water heater looks to be roughly middle-aged, but then the furnace is definitely much older, as you can see here. And then outside of this bathroom we then have another sink that's located here. And then down around the corner, back behind the sink, we have some shelves for storage. And then we also have our electrical box. And this is also, you can tell that it's pretty old, similar to the furnace. So we do also have a dehumidifier that's in place, not currently running, just because they've shut off electricity to the house, but you can tell that it would probably be necessary with all these cracks in the foundation. There's a lot of moisture that is coming through, and the basement definitely smells a little musky and a little damp. But as we come back up into the kitchen, we sort of see just a little bit of damage here in the wall from this door handle. But then we get into the area here. We have some appliances here that are pretty old. They've been here for a while. Just again, some little damage along the wall from age and from cooking. The cabinets are wood, and then we have a plastic sheeting over the cabinets themselves, which is starting to sort of peel and come loose in some areas. But it's also on the surface, but then for our backsplash up there as well. The floor of the kitchen continues the idea of a linoleum kind of tiled feel, and this actually, as you'll soon see, continues throughout the rest of the house and the rest of the bedrooms. So all the bedrooms share this similar kind of flooring. Moving out here into our living room space, we have some old shag carpeting covering it, and then just quickly looking around at the walls, we do have just a little bit of cracking, possibly as a result of a lot of the bulging that's happening on this same wall down below. So this is that west wall that's been braced with those metal beams. And then there is just a little bit of cracking in the ceiling, actually over here in the kitchen and in the entryway here. Get that focused and see that. So we will now go down this hallway, and this hallway has our bedrooms that we're going to be looking at. First we get to just a small little linen closet right here, but then we come into our first bedroom. And here you can see same idea with the floors as within the kitchen. But otherwise, the room is in good shape, no major cracks. The only thing to keep in mind here, many of these doors, these bedroom doors that are located up on this upper floor, either have some kind of pitting or holes, or they're just really falling apart, so they would need to be replaced. We'll continue here into the bathroom. And here we have our tub, which is starting to lose some tiles here on the inside. and our toilet and sink for our full bath. And here you can see, obviously, some problems with the door. And then we have a small little linen closet right here just outside of the bathroom. And then a thermostat that is probably just every bit as old as the furnace downstairs. So that system would probably all need to be replaced. And then coming into the next bedroom, have some damage on the door yet again. But same idea with the floors once more. I'm just sort of looking around the walls here. And then we have a closet in this corner. And with a window looking directly out at the neighbors outside. And then finally we get into the last bedroom here. These bedrooms are all roughly the same size. This one might be the biggest, so probably a master bedroom here. And then we have a closet over on this end, which you can see there. And again, flooring is starting to come up and peel a little bit. So that just about does it for this house. We'll just sort of take a walk here outside the front door again. Oh, one more thing before I forget. The windows. Mostly the windows around in this house are kind of an even mix between older and possibly newer. So for example, here we have a window which is a little older and has a little bit of crack into it, which is letting in a nice breeze. But then over here we have some windows which have probably been more recently replaced or remodeled, and so they are a little newer and in much better condition. And then stepping outside the house, once again, we have a little bit of a concrete pad, a pretty big step to it. But yeah, that's really about it for this house. Once again, this was 3922 8th Street in East Moline.